So, our final topic
Oh,
for
hang on.
tonight.
Let me make respects. I'm sorry. I was being rude. Apologies. Hang on.
Oh, oh.
There you go. I apologize. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's more like it. It feels more appropriate now. I like.
Yeah, I apologize. Go ahead. I
That's
apologize. Go ahead.
That's my dog Vic right there.
That's what happens when you lose a bet. That's what that is.
Miss you, buddy.
That's what that is. But anyways,
I apologize. Go ahead.
Ben Roethlisberger retired, 18 seasons, Pittsburgh Steelers, all-time great Steeler quarterback, 2-time Super Bowl champion, all that, you know all that stuff. First ballot Hall of Famer, Spence, despite what you're saying, maybe.
I'm
Anyways, so yeah, you remember we did the shows the start of this season, Spence, and you and Vic. Yeah, you asked me how I felt because Ben was coming back, and I said that I kind of knew how this season was gonna go. I felt like he was good enough still to get you enough games to go like 8-8 or something like that, and decent to where you're not gonna be able to pick like a top quarterback, but you're not gonna be, you're gonna be like in that mid-level range.
Right.
And he kind of ended up doing that. Granted, we did end up making the playoffs. No real chance to make noise at this point, but it was still good to see him, I guess, go out at least in the playoffs. So it's cool to that. The only reason I'm not upset about it is simply because this is not a deep QB class anyway. So it's not like we're missing out on the QB now because he came and played and we made the playoffs. So that's the only thing I will say. As far as Ben though, when I think of Ben, I think the one, well, it's plenty of plays, but one play in particular that stands in my mind is obviously the Super Bowl, back corner in the end zone, Santonio Holmes, that drive alone. Because when Larry Fitzgerald scored, my heart sunk in my chest. I just knew it was over. My phone started blowing up. People calling me. The game's over. They're talking crap. And I hung up the phone. I'm like, the game's not over yet. We got 7. And I said that obviously, but I didn't really think that in my heart. I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, fuck. We lost.
All right.
Then he goes on and probably does arguably the best drive in Super Bowl history. It's probably bias coming from me if I say that, but I mean, put it up against any quarterback's drive in a Super Bowl game. I think, it stands up with anybody. That was crazy. So I think that's what I'll try to remember by, versus what we've seen the last 2-3 years. I could say it's probably been time for him to hang it up. That's the hardest part when it comes to like quarterbacks. We've seen how Peyton looked on his way out. We just recently seen how Breeze looked. Sometimes quarterbacks are players in general. They don't know when it's time to hang it up. So, but unfortunately for us, we didn't have any succession plan at all. We had guys like Mason Rudolph on the roster, so there was no better option. So he kind of got to stick around those last couple of years. If there was a better option in-house, he would have been gone already. He would have been out the door already. So when there's nobody else that can take the job from him, even with his old age, he was the best option for us to do anything. So that's where it is. I'm gonna go to somebody who got to see a lot of Ben. He has an amazing record in Cleveland. Like I said before, I think before last year, he actually had the most wins by any quarterback. Well, more wins than a Brown starting quarterback. at home, which is crazy stat. Consider we only play y'all twice a season. And that means in one season you have a chance to win enough games to be where I shouldn't even know that's a stat, but that tells you what you guys have done with quarterbacks over the years, or how many you've went through since Ben's been playing. So let's. I want to hear you how you feel about Ben. How do you view Ben as a Browns fan?
Honestly, I'm glad he's gone because he's destroyed the shit out of the Browns for sure. But I mean, nothing but respect. The man, like what you said, that Super Bowl, that's honestly probably one of my top 5 Super Bowls that I remembered, in my age. And I want to say, was that in Tampa too?
It was in Tampa.
That was in Tampa. So that was a big deal, especially for us because we get the Super Bowl here a lot. So we remember those for sure. Right. And that was definitely one of them. And like what you said, that man 7 in his prime was a bad man. Freaking would just sit in that pocket, rush, get out of a tackle, and just toss that bitch up, and just somebody would catch it. It's like the dude was amazing, like no matter what. And I mean, he came from Ohio, so that's probably what it was. So
you find a way to throw that out there, huh?
Of course. So I mean, nothing but respect. I do think he's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's got
that's 2 of us except for one guy, but
what is it? 2 Super Bowls? He's got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, two Super Bowls, 3 appearances.
3 appearances.
Aaron Rodgers. Anyway.
And he's got the numbers. Like this dude, he deserves it.
Yeah, the numbers are there.
What he did off the field, that's on him. I mean,
that could be the only thing, maybe.
And that is why that's the only thing of the new committee and how they handle off the field. That's the only thing for me. That's it. That's really it.
It is, but they let Randy Moss go on first ballot and they didn't let T.O. So who knows?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and T.O. never had any legal issues.
Never.
I know.
Randy Moss actually did. So it's one of those.
I know.
Ray Lewis. If you're gonna say what you're gonna say about Ben,
right?
Lewis had an alleged.
Right.
Just saying, you can't pick and choose. If that's the case, we gotta keep some balance with that. So, but
like one thing I would like to know is what the Hall of Fame, voters they actually discuss with that stuff, because
I just want to know who they are. Like, what are their credentials? Like, who are these?
Exactly.
Who are these people? I feel like it should be former players or like
the Hall of Famers.
Yeah. Yes. A Hall of Famer can say, okay, this guy was a Hall of Famer or not some Joe Smo who never even played. Like, I don't, or maybe you don't like this guy, so we're gonna vote against him. Because I think that was the thing with T.O.
Yeah,
I think he just had whatever reputation, and people didn't like him, so they made him wait. Even though by his numbers, he should have been first ballot, no question.
Oh yeah.
But before Spence goes, I'm just gonna read off a couple of those numbers.
Oh, here we go.
64,088 passing yards, 418 tutties on 5,440 pass completions. Yeah, and then as far as where he ranks amongst as of right now as he retires, he's number 5 in pass completions, number 5 in passing yards, and then number 8 in passing touchdowns. That's in NFL history as of his retirement. So obviously we know all stats end up getting broken by somebody else.
Okay, yeah.
At the time of his retirement, all his stats are pretty much within the top 10.
Right. Yeah. As of today.
Yeah. As right now, at a point of his retirement, he finishes in the top 10 pretty much in every category. Amongst being an Iron Man, all that stuff. So yeah, to me, everything says first ballot. I mean, he was a rookie of the year. I mean, he came in the league, went to the AFC Championship. Who stopped him? Brady, of course. Brady stopped everybody. Came back the next year, won the Super Bowl. I mean,
Don't stop Eli.
You're right. He didn't stop Eli. For whatever reason,
stop Eli twice, baby. Twice.
Of all people,
twice.
Eli knew how to
twice.
But Spence, what is your take on Mr. Roethlisberger?
The one thing that I always will remember of Mr. Roethlisberger was durability. As of all the stats you say, there's one stat that you know very well, that who is the most sacked quarterback in history? Ben. Ben is leading in the most sack in his whole career. Actually, he's leading the NFL. At one point, there was times that it just looks impossible. Like he always gets sacked, but he always finds a way to win games, able to the little mobility that he did have to extend plays, and just the Super Bowl wins and just how he able to just throw the football was just a work of art. Sometimes deep balls was his forte. He was the big gunslinger. It was him, Breeze, and I forgot another one. There's another one. It's just big arms, just down the field. But man, it's just that his toughness. There was some injuries, but a lot of those, it's just like, man, he just kept fighting. And so for me, yeah, numbers, no question. He first ballot Hall of Famer. So, enjoy retirement. I mean, of course, you're going to be in the Pittsburgh Hall of Fame. That's not even a question about that one. But yeah, man. And I'm sorry what Brady said about you on Twitter.
Oh man. So now we look forward to life without Roethlisberger. We'll get into that in another episode in regards to off-season plans for different teams and what they need and this and that. But
3-word game: Pittsburgh plunge.
Ain't no plunge.
I like that. I like it.
Nah, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. But who was taking the plunge is Green Bay.
What I'll say to that Pittsburgh plunge is quarterback away. We get the right guy in here. His shirt, we add some more rings to it. That's all I'm saying.
Carson Wentz?
No, we're not in Indianapolis. No, we got some sense over here.
No, we still be a quarterback. You'll still be a quarterback away.
Yeah, with Carson Wentz. I mean, okay. So I'm gonna do this real quick because Najee gave his list, so I'm gonna give my list. Najee Harris went on.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He went on record and he listed 3 quarterbacks, which 2 of which would be on my list. The third one,
okay,
but that's not there. Najee Harris listed off Deshaun Watson,
okay,
Aaron Rodgers, and Jimmy G.
Okay.
Now,
so which one?
Now, granted, I did big up Jimmy G in our prior segment, and I mean he's good enough. And I said I would take him, but he's not my first option. Don't get me wrong. Like,
gotcha.
If worst come to worst and we couldn't land anybody else, yeah, I'll take a Jimmy G versus a Mason Rudolph any day.
Of course.
Or a Baker Mayfield. Like
Doc Hodges. How about that guy?
I'll take Doug Hodges over Mason right now too.
hey, the Doug didn't. Hey, there's some times the Doug actually worked.
Hey, yeah, he had people showing up with damn duck. What I don't know what the hell was going on.
He's a phenomenon, man. He's a phenomenon, man.
No. Anyways, though, Deshaun Watson would be first on my wish list.
Of course.
I don't care what we gotta. I do care because I'm not giving up like me or like some of the young pieces I'm not trying to give up with. If it's just draft capital though, I feel like it's worth it because if you get a Deshaun Watson, I feel like those first round picks are going to be from 26 to 32 anyway. So who cares at that point? So Deshaun Watson, I'm with that. Russell Wilson, I would have as my second option if that ends up being the case that him and Seattle are, going to part ways. I like the mobility there because our offensive line is not the best right now. I feel like Russell has been dealing with that in Seattle his whole career anyway, so it's no big deal for him. He can deal with a bad O-line and better surrounding Tyler Lockett, Metcalf. We definitely have a better running back than they got.
Question though, like you alluded to, you say you've been dealing with it all this time in Seattle. Don't you think he's tired of that?
I agree, but the thing is, our offensive line is bad because we started 3 rookies. We're young. We're trying to address it. Seattle has neglected to address it. Just a different. Other difference is he doesn't have a Legion of Boom anymore. I'm not saying we're the Legion of Boom over here, but we got.
But I get it. Your defense is your defense is better.
Named Minka Fitzpatrick. Like, we definitely got a better defense than Seattle has right now.
I got you.
They probably have better overall receivers, but we got some decent, pretty good receivers. We definitely got a better running back. I feel like overall, Pittsburgh is an upgrade over Seattle right now, if I'm Russell Wilson. Just saying. And we're going to have cap space, so we can go get some pieces. We can go draft 2. We can go sign 2 free agent offensive linemen for him, if that's the case.
Sure.
And then thirdly would be, of course, Mr. Rodgers. Everybody's seen the rumors that started after when we played them earlier in the season. And the whole thing with Rodgers and Tomlin. Potentially, I guess you could say, I'm not going to say flirting because that sounds weird, but essentially that's what it was.
Conversating. Let's say conversating.
I respect him. Yeah, he's a great, that whole thing. So it got people speculating that
crazy.
If Ben retired and then Aaron does decide to leave, that Pittsburgh would be a potential landing spot. So,
I mean, y'all are on Vegas. Y'all are number 2.
I feel like right now, though, for him, I feel like Denver is number 1 just because they the OC just signed as the head coach. Yeah. So if he's gonna leave, they got a pretty solid young defense. They got great young receivers. They got a good young run. I mean, they got everything Aaron could potentially want.
Need.
Denver. It's just playing in Denver. Do you like Denver? Do you like Colorado? That's what you got to wait.
Well, I mean, with his hair and how his personality is going, I think he's going to do just
he might be a Colorado boy. You're right. He might
be
just
fine. That's a nice place.
He might fit the culture. I don't know.
He might be just fine. They just got to give. All he has to do is find one strand. I mean, try to find one string on the defense. It'll be just.
This is gonna be a crazy off season though. I think this is the most like as far as quarterbacks, it's gonna be a lot of shuffling this season, and regardless. Obviously we didn't touch on the whole Brady thing just because it was official, but then it wasn't official. So I'm kind of trying to hold off on that until we see what is exactly going on with that. That can go either way.
Confusing.
In my opinion,
that's confusing to me.
He could do whatever he wants at this point. He has nothing left to prove to anybody, but some people, they just have that love for the. I feel like him and LeBron, those are just 2 people who they're not gonna go away. Like they just.
No. I think the only thing that's gonna make them go away is their body's literally gonna say, "I can't do it."
But I think they're smart enough, and I feel like they know to walk away before it gets to that.
Right.
Look at Brady. He's past the point where Peyton started breaking down. Like he's way past that point at this point. He just came off winning the Super Bowl last year. So it's like, you know how bad Peyton looked at that last Super Bowl? The defense literally drug him to that Super Bowl. That had 0 to do with Peyton.
And the rules have changed so much for quarterbacks since then. So that's helped a lot too, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Brady definitely takes care of his body though too. All
Oh
the
yeah,
yoga or what, all the stuff he's into.
the money they put
It
in
clearly works. Yeah, him and LeBron, they both put so much money into their body, and look at them outlasting their counterparts. So there's something to be said about that.
It's just gonna be interesting. It's just gonna be an interesting offseason because man, a lot of teams that are playoff contending might go through a rebuilding year.
And we still got a lot of coaching moves too. There's a lot of still open teams out there with no coaches, no GMs. Usually by now we know half of them already, and we've only got like 3 teams that have announced who they're gonna have.
Yeah, and I think there were 7 coaching openings, or 6 or 7, and only 2 have been filled so far. So
yeah,
we're gonna have a lot to discuss in the next coming weeks and months. So it'll be fun. Welcome, Brian. You're not gonna like it, especially Brown Steelers week. I'm just letting you know now.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
You can think that ain't no hitting Mason in the head this year, buddy.
The last 2 years, the last 2 years have been great for the Browns.
Not that last game. Ben had a good send off, but
yeah, he did. We gave that one to him.
Oh yeah,
respect.
Appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year's. That's what it was.
All right. So outside of that, did you guys have anything else before we wrap it up here?
Oh, nope. Just ready for these games.
The Rumble was trash.
Oh, yeah. We don't even get into that. Nothing.
We'll save that for Valid Club.
AEW me, please. But with that being said, you've heard what we have to say. You can agree or you can disagree. But at the end of the day, all takes are valid. All right, boys.
Season 2, baby.